meetings of the 3 standing committees and the plenary of the 48th session of the African, Caribbean and Pacific Parliamentary Assembly between 13th and 16th December 2017. The sessions and meetings were a follow-up to the 47th session of the ACP Parliamentary Assembly and the intersessional meetings of the ACP-EU Joint Parliamentary Assembly that were held on 9 to 12 October 2018 in Brussels, Belgium. Various resolutions, Madam Speaker, on matters affecting the members of the 3 standing committees were on the following topical issues: the challenges in the field of security development, nexus in ACP and EU policies, the blue economy, opportunities and challenges for ACP states, and number 3, improving the access to basic health systems, notably to medicines in the fight against infectious diseases. The reports were thereafter discussed in the Joint Parliamentary Assembly, where they were adopted and resolutions made. There was also a women's forum, 2 external workshops, and a youth conference with Haitian students conducted before the main plenary session. Honorable Speaker, the JPA deliberated on various matters of concern to the member states and also exercised scrutiny over the European Commission, the ACP and the EU Councils, respectively, through a question and answer debate. Further deliberations were conducted on a variety of topics, namely the role of the natural resources in promoting sustainable development, demographic growth, sustainable tourism, enhancing resilience to climate change and natural disasters, among others, in addition to discussions with Commissioner Nivan Mimika, member of the European Commission, with responsibility for international cooperation and development. The Commissioner focused his statement on the future of the Cotonou Agreement, which would be coming to an end in the year 2020, citing the need to adapt to the changing environment and to emergence of global challenges such as climate change and migration. Other debates also included urgent motions on ongoing situation in Mauritania, Libya, and Zimbabwe. Honorable Speaker, before I conclude, there are 2 things I wish to highlight from the report that demonstrate the importance of this organization in widening civic space, strengthening democracy, and supporting equitable and sustainable development. The first is the Economic Partnership Agreement, popularly known as the EPAS, which had their inception in the year 2002 between the EU and group of countries that together make up the ACP group of states, where they have been negotiating free trade economic partnership agreements. The overall objective of the EPA are to ensure sustainable development of the ACP countries, their smooth and gradual integration into the global economy, and eradication of poverty. Specifically, EPAs aim at promoting sustainable growth, increasing the production and supply capacity, fostering the structural transformation and diversification of ACP economies, and providing support for regional integration by being tailor-made to suit specific regional circumstances. Honorable Madam Speaker, the EPA was to be signed and ratified by each of the EAC, the East African Community and the EU partner states to enter into force. In general, Kenya and the EAC are keen to conclude the EPA agreement that addresses the concerns of the region, brings industrial and general development, and leads to poverty eradication. The agreement should also not lead to displacement of Kenyan products in the EAC market by the EU products. At present, only Kenya and Rwanda have concluded the ratification process, awaiting the other East African community states to finalize on the EAC-EPA. In fact, the ratification process was conducted by the 11th Parliament in September 2016. For the time being, Kenya continues to enjoy the quota-free, duty-free access to the EU market following interventions by previous Kenyan delegations, ministry officials, civil society, and the business community. Honorable Madam Speaker, the second thing is the European Development Fund, or EDF. EDF is a main instrument for providing community aid for development cooperation by the EU to ACP member states. This is divided into grants for national and regional educative programs, intra-ACP and inter-regional cooperation. This investment facility is managed by the European Investment Bank, and the European Investment Bank's loans should be used to promote the public sector in ACP states. The current 11th ADF is scheduled to run from the year 2014 to 2020 with a budget of euros 1.5 billion set aside for this particular period. Members should therefore appraise themselves on projects or programs in their areas which may qualify for funding and consult the National Treasury on how it can be accessed. Honorable Speaker, the delegation is grateful to the speakers of the two houses for allowing them to attend the sessions, for facilitating travel and accommodation, and providing logistical and technical support in liaison with the offices of the clerks of the two houses. Mr. Speaker, it's now my place and duty on behalf of the delegation to present and commend this report to the House for noting. I beg to move and I request the Honorable Wafula Mwaniki to second. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The seconder, Honorable Mwaniki.
Thank you again, Madam Speaker. Thank you for the opportunity to second this report that is before the House. The mover, Madam Speaker, has been very elaborate, explained what the SCPU is all about, and I think I'll not take time repeating what she said. But I want to emphasize one point which she